everybody, and welcome to 3Air's AMA. Anita Mlakar is my name, and I am the host of this AMA. I'm sorry for a little delay. We will explain why we had it in a minute, but I am happy that you are here with us. Of course, taking the opportunity to ask questions, because this is what AMA is all about your questions and your chance to get the answers, because every time we have also the CEO of 3Air with us, Sandi Bitenc, and he will be with us in a couple of seconds. Let's do a short introduction of the project. And this time, I promise I will be talking a little slower, because we seem to have a problem when I'm talking too fast with our connection, and maybe this time it will be different. We will see. My aim is that you understand me and that you understand what the project is all about. So let's do this short introduction. To connect Africa's cities with a fast and stable internet connection and become the first fully decentralized telecom platform in the world is the goal of 3Air. We are actually connecting the unconnected, and we are talking about this all the time. Once people have an internet connection, we can, of course, provide them with digital identities. Then we can bank the unbanked, and we are giving them a wallet, all through blockchain. The next step is providing financial services. We have fiat, onboarding, and offboarding ramp, a peer-to-peer crash crypto onboarding. We have DeFi, and we are working on microloans and yield farming. And that is not all. Our outside partners will provide additional digital revenue streams. And once we put people through all those steps, they will be, or they are connected, banked, and empowered. And there is another goal. Namely, all this time we are educating people, because we believe that that is the real empowerment. And of course, plans are getting even bigger. Let's introduce and invite our CEO, Sandi Bitenc, CEO of 3Air, to be with us. Hello, Sandi.
Hi, Anita. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Sandi. Now let's explain. I see that you have managed to enter the room, or?
Yes, I did.
What happened?
In the middle of your introduction, so
Okay.
we were locked out of our room, so nothing worked, and then they send the somebody to repair the door, and it didn't work. Then they sent somebody else, so we were waiting for a few minutes in front of our hotel room. But before we are in we're in Alexandria right now, and it took us over 1 hour of driving to drive 8 kilometers, like 8.5 kilometers over. And yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I can believe that. But you are here. We are happy to have you here, because I was already afraid that you won't be able to join us. But we said, let's start and let's see what happens in front of the door and now later on in the room.
Yeah.
So, Sandi, thank you for doing that and being with us.
I am without my laptop right now, so because I was standing outside, the laptop is in the room somewhere, so I'm just not switching right now. I wanted to show a bit of what we are working on, but I'll probably just send it later on in the Telegram group.
Okay. Now this AMA we're doing it every 2 weeks, and this is the opportunity, of course, for everybody who is with us to ask questions. We also received some questions in our channels. Please do be a part of our channels on Telegram, on Twitter, and on Discord. We are still there, and of course, connecting with you. And there were some questions also there. But Sandi, we do pick a subject every week, and we're talking about it. And for some time now, we were talking about a new roadmap. And you said that today you will be explaining something more about that.
Yeah, for sure. So it is work in progress. It's something that we are kind of pulling a bit forward, that we, just because we have a setback in DRC currently. So we are, as I said already, looking at some global opportunities, and we do want to enter the mobile space, and just to provide some services to everyone actually. So in plan, what we have in plan is actually to do a global SIM card that would allow you to, have one SIM card and travel wherever you go, and have actually really, really good rates, for the majority, actual local rates, and if not local rates, then at least really, really good roaming rates. So this is kind of the idea that we're starting, but it's not only about that. So this is actually called something like a virtual mobile operator. So we actually want to tokenize that and put it on the blockchain. And this is, in our first white paper, we actually said that we'll be building out our layer one. So this is actually where the layer one comes into play, because once we have the virtual operator up, we can start doing work on tokenization of bandwidth data, kind of, or mobile minutes and so on. So this is actually in plan, and there's always a question when you do start a layer one. Is it really, really necessary? So yeah, for what we're trying to do, for sure it's necessary, because just if you think about it, it's going to be a specialized layer one. You need to have a layer one that's okay. If you want to tokenize the actual bandwidth, you do need to be able to issue tokens and also burn them when they're used, right? When you use your data, then those tokens need to be burned, and that needs to be seamlessly. So it's a special operation that should not require gas fees and so on. So and we've been looking a bit around, and we just didn't find anything similar. So we're also thinking about how to get some value to our existing token holders from that. And this is some, the economy, we're still finalizing and working it out. But yeah, the idea is to really get a global SIM card. It'll be an eSIM, and then starting to put everything on the blockchain, and also allowing other projects and communities actually to build something on top of that. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. And the white paper is in the works. Also, we also have some soft commitments for the funding part. And once this is finished, I think this can be a big step in what 3R is actually trying to achieve. And this doesn't mean that we're stopping 3R as what we were doing up until now. It's just in the a different or an additional team has been forming around that idea. Now it was in my head for a long, long time, so since the beginning actually. So I met a few people that are actually doing something similar, have been doing something similar in the past, but not on the blockchain part, and they think it's a great idea. So this is why a separate team will be actually doing this. And yeah, the previous team is still working on what we have been working up until now.
Okay, Sandi, I was just about to ask you that. How do you come up with such ideas? Where do they grow? And then who do you discuss it with? So it is actually with the people who have, let's say, similar ideas or are thinking like you. So this is great, Sandi, in the meantime. So the team is up and you are doing what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah. So how do I come up with the ideas?
Yeah.
I don't know. I read a lot. I educate myself a lot. I actually like to think, new ways of solving some problems. And there for sure are some problems with the with the current system. So I can already say for myself, right, every time that where I land something, and I fly a lot around, right? The first thing that I need to do is go and buy a SIM card, a local SIM card,
Hmm.
because the roaming charges are just crazy, and I need a lot of internet and while traveling, because I'm always also working. So it's for me it's just impossible to go with roaming. And for instance, when we landed here in Egypt, we were waiting in line for a SIM card for about an hour. And that's just time lost. It's a lot of hustle. Every time you need to identify yourself, they are taking your personal data, copying your passports and everything. And it's always a privacy risk. It's always a security risk. You usually give your phone to somebody who installs then the SIM card, and just needs to do some configuration or anything like that. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you do. And it's just it's a hustle. It's not something that I really like, right? And this is when I was, I know a few people from the industry, and it's just there is, I just don't understand why we have so high roaming costs, because there is technically, things should work with normal cost, maybe a bit of additional cost, just because somebody will want to take a margin or something like that, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is, what I really don't like is buying packages for mobile, and then you buy, I don't know, you buy 100 gigabytes, and then you use 30 and 70
Yeah.
go to waste, right? Or you have like 1,000 minutes that you won't be using. And so it makes no sense. It's just where the telcos make the most money. But we do have the technology right now to actually charge for what you're using, right? And the pricing model is really really hard, not only for the end users. It's also really really hard to discover the right price for the telcos. And secondary markets can be really really good in determining the price. It's the market
Yeah.
will determine the price, and usually it's the best option between making a profit for the telcos, and also getting the best service, or let's say the best value service for the end user. It could also take out a bit the problems with the spikes in usage, because every uh, provider actually has a spike of usage at certain peak times in the day, and in the other days they just nobody is usually using internet really hard during the night, right? Or their phones and calling, but they need to they're limited by their peak times. So the bandwidth and everything, how many people they can serve, it's actually limited by the peak times.
Hmm.
And then during downtimes, it's low times. I don't know how to say it. It's just it's a waste of resources at that point in time. So secondary markets can also help a bit there. And oh, also the other thing is, there's really really high acquisition costs for telcos right now to acquire new users. Everyone knows about it, so it's more or less like stealing the users from one to the other in a sense. And I think we have a really really good idea how to sort this out, and how to actually get the services branded to every smaller micro community, and then micromanage that. So this is kind of the things that I know that are problems, and then I just start thinking about them, and sometimes I come up with some good ideas, I think.
Wow, you know what? I was just thinking. You are like the way I see you. You are a man of solutions, or let's say a solution person. There are so many people just complaining, on the things that are not working, or they're not satisfied with, and you are the one who goes out, says this is the problem, and I'm gonna find the solution. And I really like that. So this is a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Sandi,
But sometimes, sometimes it's also it's an idea, and it's sometimes it's really really hard to put into place, and to actually do it. So yeah, we lately we haven't been really the best one in execution, but unfortunately it's right now it's out of our hands, right?
yeah,
So I know there were a lot of questions being asked also where the 3 year currently stands and so on, and
yeah.
it's just it's quite hard right now. So when we started out, we actually didn't get the full raise in, so we couldn't start multiple countries, and also we actually we weren't able to really self fund a whole country, so we went with another investor, and that was for DRC, and things are locked in right now there. So we just need to get the license, and things will start moving again.
Sandi, regarding to what you were saying, introducing this idea, there's a question from Miran. But is this new layer one going to be centralized?
No, no, it should not be centralized, So the idea is to have a decentralized nodes. So there'll be nodes as validators, and everyone can actually become a validator. So we are looking into decentralizing. And this is also, so if you think about it, our internet is in the hands of a few really big companies, like literally in the hands of a few really big companies. So, well, hopefully we can get a bit more decentralization in that space, and well, this should also provide some additional safety for everyone involved. Just imagine if those guys kind of come together and just say, okay, tomorrow we'll shut down the internet. Of course, then they're losing their business, right? So, but it could literally happen. So it's not so far-fetched that it's just impossible.
Okay, Richard has another question regarding that. How about the funding for this additional step? How much additional funding is necessary?
So right now we are fundraising for another million to get to a stage where we have the SIM cards out, so that we can actually have a product for everyone, and also there should be the first version of the nodes, the validators ready to go online. So this is what we're looking for. We currently, sorry, somebody's calling me in. And we should be yeah, we have 350K soft commitments currently. So this means soft commitment actually means that there we have some investors that are ready to invest if we can get the full million in. So
Okay. We have another question in this AMA from the Big Did. Are you on track to launch the platform in Q1 and onboard the existing customers in Sierra Leone?
no, we will not be doing that. So the first option that we have is actually once DRC is ready. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just a minute. This is another one from Richard. How will this additional funding work in combination with the 3-year tokens?
So I don't want to give anything, out right now, because I'm not 100% sure how it will work, but we are working on something that if we cannot do to the 3-year as the main token for the layer one, then we'll create some options to actually exchange it. There are some ideas, and yeah, it's gonna take probably another couple of weeks, up to 3 weeks, to actually get the exactly how this will work together. But we are looking into providing really good value to the existing token holders.
Okay. So, Sandi, if we just put this in a short, 3Air is still doing the project in Africa, still trying to connect the unconnected and everything that we were saying. But in the meantime, well, this is, of course, taking a little longer regarding all the circumstances. 3R is looking to some other project or going global, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, it's nice to hear that. We don't have any other questions right now. Maybe just Sandi, we're so used to your market update. Is something new going on? Are there any changes?
Well, nothing really in particular. So we have seen a bit bad numbers on the inflation side. So the markets got a bit spooked, and the other thing is that yeah, there's a lot of further around that the US is actually cracking down on crypto. But on the other side, what's actually happening is that Europe, UK, and China are actually opening up to crypto. So it's really nice to see that. It's the new, it's the new tech um, frontier. So if no, if you take a parallel from what was happening with the tech sector there in 2000, it's right now, I guess, it's happening with crypto. And those are actually the companies that were created at that point in time. Those are the Googles, the Apples, and those big tech giants, Amazons. They're now the biggest companies in the world, and I think blockchain and crypto is going kind of the same route, and but it's far more disruptive, I guess, and for the governments. So there's always a bit of uh, let's kill them or something like that. But on the other side, then other countries are actually coming up and embracing it because just they just want to have the advantages from it. But it's really funny to just hear the articles that the banks or the regulators are coming up that we need to stop crypto because it can disrupt the financial system and so on. And we have such an old financial system already, and it's so outdated. And if if blockchain wouldn't be a better technology and a better alternative, why would they actually be afraid of it? And now they want to just shut it down to protect the old technology that's being used to so much manipulation and control over regular people. So sometimes it's really, I'm just like, yeah, it's gonna disrupt it because it's far better, right? But people just the people in power want to clinch on their power, but it's slowly eroding. um so I think what I'm really looking forward to is I think 1st of June is when Hong Kong is actually allowing and legalizing kind of crypto. So and Hong Kong will be probably the way for China to get on board with crypto again. Because in China, crypto is banned for quite some time. Also, here in Egypt is actually a ban on it, so I cannot use any crypto services actually without using a VPN.
Okay, interesting. Sandi, Richard is saying that questions will come up once the roadmap and white paper is published. But in the meantime, Miran has another question. Any news about replacing of BUSD on 3Air platform?
Yeah, we are working on that, so that will be replaced. I don't think it's really um, uh, right now endangering something, but yeah, we'll be replacing it with probably with USDT. I don't know, USDC. I don't like USDC too much, but it's really it's hard to make a choice between USDT and USDC, and I don't see any other stable coin right now on the Binance Smart Chain that could be used. USDT has, I think, 4 times more liquidity. it is offshore. It has a lot of FUD around it, but because it's offshore, it's also harder for the U.S. to actually kind of go after them. There are still options, but it's harder. Um, USDC is a US company, right? So if they take away BUSDT from Paxos, that's also US company. Why shouldn't they do the same with USDC? So I don't know. It's so hard to say, but it looks like the U.S. just wants to push out their own digital currency, their own CBDC that will replace the stable coins. So they're right now saying, yeah, stable coins are securities, and they'll just probably come up with some stupid explanation why it is. Well, hopefully somebody will go and sue the SEC, and because I don't think that a stable coin will be failing the Howey test and become a security. So let's see how that goes. But if they just manage to scare everyone away in the meantime, and then push their CBDCs onto everyone, then I know this is something that I'm a bit afraid of, because the CBDCs will, how they're doing it right now. The governments, they'll actually allow to control how much you're spending and on what. And there's also a lot of talk about the personal credit score, carbon scores coming out, and so on. So just imagine what can happen. Uh, you'll be just or creating too much carbon, releasing it into the air, and they'll just say, okay, for now you cannot, I don't know, fly anymore, right? You cannot spend your money for flight tickets, so they'll tell you what you can spend it for, and if you don't spend it, then they'll just take it away or something like that. So mm, it's not really the best future if we get the CBDs pushed on us. That's my opinion. And China has tried it, so they issued their own CBDC already, but they're just not getting the adoption. Also, Nigeria issued their e-naira. Also not getting the adoption. So this is actually a good thing, I guess. So people are not really jumping on it straightforward without doing their own due diligence. But I think if you have money, it's your money. You're the owner of it, and nobody should be telling you what you can use it for, or what you should not be using it for.
Sandi, thank you. Thank you very much also for taking time being with us, of course. Do you have any special plans in Egypt?
Yeah, I actually, since I was a kid, I was really, really fond of the pyramids. I always wanted to see them. So this is, the purpose of the trip was actually a conference that should be from the 2nd till the 5th of March, but it got postponed, and it's from 16 till 19. So, but because we had the flight tickets already booked, we are just now using it to see first Alexandria. And Alexandria is really, really an interesting city, and I never looked so deeply into it, but it's the city with the city of knowledge. So in the ancient times, they had the biggest library here, and their idea of how to get the power into the city to become the most powerful city was with attracting a lot of knowledge. So they were just going around copying all the books that they could and storing it there. Or for that, at that point in time, it was like the papyrus scrolls. Um, and they were attracting a lot of scientists, mathematicians, and so on, and they really, really became really powerful. But then there was again fight for power, and we don't know exactly. So I heard already 3 stories why the libraries were burned down in the past. But they recently they rebuilt a big library here, and it's really, really amazing. And they're doing a lot of really good stuff, putting a lot of things online for free. So you can literally go and see all the really old books and also the new books. And they have a huge server there where they are digitizing all the books that they have and just giving it out for the people to access for free. So it was really amazing. Yeah, and then tomorrow we are going to see the pyramids.
Wow. I like pyramids too, I must say. You know, when I had my first company, I was around 20 years old. I was trying something. It was called Sfinga.
Oh,
So, yeah, I do have some connection, but you would never get me inside because I'm really claustrophobic. And I'm sorry for that, but I cannot go inside. But they're looking amazing from the outside too. So, enjoy tomorrow.
I'll tell you if they're really so small. So
Do.
because I think that the tombs could be really big still.
Okay. I heard that there are some really, really, small and not feeling very good about that, but maybe there are some that I can really go into and enjoy. I hope so. So do find out, okay, Sandy? You
I
have a
will. I will.
mission. Thanks again for being with us. Thank everybody who were here, who all of you who are here, and of course, stay connected, stay tuned. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are not subscribed yet, and do stay also in our channels on Twitter, on Telegram, and on Discord. We're happy to have you there, and we will be back in 2 weeks, right, Sandy?
Yes, we
On
will.
live AMA. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.